Welcome to She Who Rises Up. I'm your host, Lara Khalaf, and my intention is to uplift, elevate, and empower you through conscious conversations that will support your growth, healing, and evolution. My mission is to empower women and support the rise of the feminine in the corporate world. My favorite quote is, "She remembered who she was, and the game changed." And this is my desire for you ladies to remember who you are so you could change your game. Please come in and join me. This is your podcast. Hello, sisters. Hello. How are you, my loves? How are you? Welcome to spring, eh? Welcome to spring. Although now looking at the window is not very springy, but welcome to spring. And what a beautiful season this is, right? Knowing that the deep hibernation that we've all been going through has ended, and it's time to slowly get up from the winter bed. Welcome to episode 32 of our podcast, She Who Rises Up. I just got back to London a few days ago and I have been engaged guiding women as part of the empowerment program Rise, doing one-to-one work. And I'm still integrating the lessons after the last retreat with the medicine of ayahuasca a couple of weeks ago now. The intention of this podcast, ladies, continues to be the support of the elevation of consciousness through the empowerment of women and the rise of the feminine. And in this series, it will be done through the lessons learned from sitting with master plant healers and teachers. There are so many lessons to share. And although, some lessons are to be kept private for now, there are so many others that are for all of us, like today's episode. So we'll continue with the theme of wisdom from the plants. Now, please allow me to clarify something as well, that although I am a massive fan, devotee, and student of the plants, I am not encouraging anyone to sit with them. There's a decision that you, sister, you need to make. However, should you choose to do so, may I ask you to make sure that you find the best tribe to do it with, to do your due diligence and to follow your intuition, because like any other industry, there are charlatans, there are abusers and scammers in here too. So, one of the intentions of this last retreat was to work and to understand my masculine and the mystery of masculine, both my inner masculine, by the way, and to heal the relationship with men. So my initial intention was to talk today about my understanding of the masculine through the eyes of my feminine. And then, by the way, I'm emphasizing the word my on purpose because this is not the ultimate truth, but how I experience it. And I got beautiful, sisters, wow, what beautiful insights. It was so wonderful, so wonderful. And you know what? It was very interesting because I really thought it was going to be as volcanic and wild as working on my feminine. And so far, it's gentle. It's more gentle, more grounded, noble, and beautiful than I had anticipated. By the way, when I say masculine and feminine, for me, these are tools, like the many tools that we have that help us navigate our human experience. For me, tools are thoughts, feelings, intuition, breathing, walking, the ability to walk, the cards, any divination tool, speaking. These are all tools. So I'm attached enough, obviously, to let them do the work and to know how to use these tools. Some of them consciously, some of them mechanically. I don't even need to think about them, but not so attached to defend them as the absolute universal truth. In this case, the concept of masculine and feminine. And I do my best not to get lost in such attachments, as it is a belief of mine that one of the roots of suffering is the attachment that we have to to our humanity. So, so. Once I ground the lessons about my understanding of the masculine, I will share it for sure because I'm still unpacking. I'm still in awe with the marvel that I had witnessed. So beautiful. So beautiful. So, what did I learn in this last retreat? Oh, tons, 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 tons. So much. So much. And after a couple of weeks, the medicine is still working through and still showing herself. She's still unpacking herself. And right now, I'm finally tapping into this queen energy that I could so feel her coming through right now, and especially after this last couple of weeks of melancholy and sadness that I was feeling, and I had to surrender. I had to surrender to these feelings. No choice. Now, I normally feel actually melancholy after sitting with the plants. I haven't figured out yet why is that or what's the reason behind it. And I don't know if there is a reason behind it. And I'm also feeling a little bit of sadness because of the letting go of something I deeply believe was going to be extraordinary. So I was surrendering to the heartbreak, I was surrendering to the sadness, I was surrendering to the melancholy. So today's topic, guess what it is? It's to surrender. It's to surrender. What a beautiful word that is, right, sisters? What a beautiful word that is. Shall we unpack it? What does it mean to surrender? What does it mean to you to surrender? Please allow me to share with you what I understand of this concept. To surrender is that deep state of relaxation into your being, knowing that everything will work out for the highest good and highest truth of all involved. It is also the courage, it's very courageous to surrender, where we have to leave any prejudices, any conditioning, any beliefs to one side, and we are willing to embark into the unknown. To surrender is to trust the work of both the visible and the invisible worlds. It is putting our guards down and allowing other people also to share their medicine with us, because we're all medicine people. It is also the letting go of the illusion of control, the illusion of control, and allowing the divine to flow through us and work through us. So, when was the last time you allowed yourself to surrender? Surrender to a person, to a situation, to a feeling. I have a couple of powerful stories I would love to share with you, if you allow me, sisters, about surrendering and the profound lessons that come with it. In one of the ceremonies with ayahuasca in November, I asked the plant to help me, like for millions of women, to heal their relationship with my body. So here I was, lying on my mat at God knows what time of the night, after receiving the second shot, feeling all confident that we got to get this shit sorted once and for all, after so many years of abusing this vehicle that we have been provided, which is the body, in this case, my body. So the first time I asked the plant, I asked ayahuasca, if she, if you could do that. Now, here's something about ayahuasca. Ayahuasca, you never know what was going to happen. And sometimes she could grant you, or at least this is my experience so far, she could grant you your wishes, if we could say that way. But she will not grant you how do you want to get to that wish, or how do you want to get to, quote unquote, that goal that you want to work on. So nothing happened. I felt as if she was distracting me, and I had to ask her again. And that's when the scanning, the famous ayahuasca scanning, began. To make sure that I was ready for the trips, or at least I thought that, because well, sisters, once the ceremony finished, I can confirm that that particular trip was the biggest initiation of my entire MF life and the hardest thing I had to endure to date. The hardest thing I had to do to date. So, what I'm about to share with you is only one aspect of that initiation, which is, related to today's topic. She was also scanning, she was scanning for that hidden box, that hidden box or that hidden aspect that I wasn't willing to open, or I didn't know I had to open, or actually I didn't know that even existed. But she is a goddess of the shadows. And she found the box, and the journey began. And I felt her working on me. There were wild and gorgeous visions and insights, understanding. And then I started feeling ayahuasca serpent energy rising from the deep within. It was strong and really powerful. And I knew it was time to purge. The purge was approaching, in this case, in the form of a vomit. And because, by the way, you could purge in different ways. And this last retreat I had a couple of weeks ago, the way that I was purging was through yawning. Literally, I couldn't stop yawning and yawning and yawning and yawning. So I super then slowly sat down and I started crawling towards my bucket like a motherfucking jaguar, like an animal ready to release. And I did it in such a feared and wild way. And as an anecdote, by the way, the following day when I went down to clean the bucket, there was hardly anything there. That's when I understood that whatever I purged was energetic knots that were stuck in my body. So after the purge, I started actually really feeling unwell, and I entered what's called an ayahuasca psychotic break. And the plant had completely taken over, and I lost it. I lost it, completely lost it. And that's when the team deemed appropriate to perform something called a harmonization, which is a ritual using medicine songs, herbal tinctures, and other tools to lower the intensity of the plant and bring you into balance. So the Taita, or the shamanic guide, said that for the harmonization, I needed to take my top off to blow the tincture on my skin, which is something that we were told of beforehand, so it wasn't a surprise. But I remember thinking for a split second, because I had enough consciousness to realize that I wasn't feeling well. But that was it. And I thought, oh shit, I'm not wearing anything underneath. Oh, I'm not wearing a bra. Okay. And he's so freaking handsome and cute and masculine. All that was happening in a split second, right? But do you know what? I needed to get better. And I had no choice but to leave all these unhelpful, call it nonsensical thoughts to one side and really, really surrender in deep trust to this man who was here to help me. I had no choice but to relax into his medicine and the magic of the unseen world. It was to surrender or to fight it. And at that moment of time, to survive, surrender was the medicine. Now, when you sit with ayahuasca, every detail counts. So we got to pay attention. What happens in ceremony is an exaggerated snapshot of what happens outside of ceremony in your day-to-day life. So now, sister, I would like to invite you to think of those times that you have been fighting unnecessarily. Think about those times only because of your conditioning, only because you were told to, only because you didn't know any better. Only because you're used to fighting. Now, this experience, the one that I just shared with you, was so deeply healing and profound. And I remember that I asked the plants to heal the relationship with my body, right? And she made me uncover it. I mean, how genius is that? And to do it not only in front of the masculine, but in front of everyone else. Now, I'm going to leave the story here because, as I've mentioned, this is only one aspect of that big initiation that I went through, that I'm still unpacking and unfolding even after all these months later. And that particular ceremony was a miraculous one for me. Absolutely miraculous one. And by the way, this situation also helped me understand that the masculine is here to serve and support the feminine. But we have to allow them. We have to allow him. Anyways, I'm going off tangent now, and I'm getting excited about the topic of the masculine. That's for another time. Let me share with you another mystical story that I had when I visited Hammam in Marrakesh early this year, and I experienced the medicine of surrendering in such a different way. And this particular experience I'm about to share with you was so liberating, because we had to, as you enter the hammam, you get naked. So to walk naked in front of other women, in this case, realizing that all bodies are beautiful. And even though the first couple of minutes are the most awkward ones, after a while, or at least I didn't care about how my body looked or how her body looked, but rather it was an opportunity to fully embrace being naked, number one, being seen, taken care of, bathed, washed by another woman. That was so nourishing and divine. And the lesson here that I got reminded of, that by surrendering to the external feminine, I am also surrendering to my inner feminine. I really wish you all to experience this. Surrender. So I had to surrender to the feelings of melancholy and sadness, knowing that there is medicine in everything. I was not fighting it. I was not using any coping mechanism to transmute it these couple of weeks, because I knew that this is temporary. I knew that what I needed to do was to trust and sit with it. I needed to sit with it with no other intention but sitting and being with it. And this is another teaching from the plant. Sit with it and feel it until you break through it. Sit with it and feel it until you break through it. But you know what's the problem? If you allow me to use this word, is that we are not used to sitting in discomfort, right? We have to learn it. You have to learn it. So, have you heard the song called the Rose Lineage Song? There's a beautiful verse that says, "A rose will bloom when she is ready, and not a moment too soon." So this is my wish for you ladies, that you allow your feelings to be with you until they are ready to transmute at the right time and not a moment too soon. And with this, my darling ones, I will close today's portal, hoping that you found medicine in today's episode. Sending you all my love, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Bye-bye. That's all for today, ladies. Thank you so much for joining this space, and I truly hope you found it insightful. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe to the podcast and share it with your friends and the women in your lives so they could also benefit from it too. If you want to get in touch, you are very welcome to contact me through Instagram, LinkedIn, or send me an email to support@laracalaf.com. Speak to you very soon.